I think we are live. I'm going to need just another moment to get prepared. Yeah, I'm going to set up the wheel of names. We'll start there. Alright, that should be good. Alright, I'm assuming everybody can see that. So we're going to do the spin for the first race. So this is for, and it will be for every week, $10. I will send it in iRacing dollars, so expect that once you win. First winner, Cameron Risley. That's what we like to see. So $10 coming your way. I actually need to export the results real quick so I can get the list of drivers that were here today. Right. I get to see my magnificent sheet in action. Just don't look at my downloads. That's all there is to it. All right. Okay, and then for today's race, 10 iRacing dollars goes to, ooh, very close, Preston Hathaway. Nice, dude. Way to go. All right, time for the real winners. Who gets penalties? Okay, it looks like there's a solid amount. It's all right. That's what we're here for. I want those messages gone. I don't think I can do that. Okay, I'm gonna pull. I don't know where my chat is. I don't know how to read that, unfortunately. For one reason or another, I don't see it this time. So, Bradley can let me know what people are saying. Just be a little more delayed. Yeah, but can you? Just when you're ready. Making sure I can be heard, it looks like I can. Yeah. Well, if you can see it on my screen, I would be able to see it. I'll watch my own shit here. Apologies, guys. Starting just one quick sec. Okay, audio sounds good. Thank you. Great. Yeah, Justin, that was really close. I'll let them textures load. I got the stream up on my side monitor. All right, I mean, yeah, no harm, no foul. Just a little bit of rubbing. Assume that's who this was. Just check his cockpit, see if that did anything. Whoa. Wheel looks good. Yeah, and he touched the back. Alright, nice job, nice avoiding. Looks like Smalley getting tapped in the back here. But good job overall. That's unfortunate, but Will, can you mute yourself, please? Hey. Sorry, dude. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, you did a good job waiting. Sucks to wait till the very end, but that's what happens at turn 1 usually. I'm assuming you didn't have to wait. Yeah. I got Randy here. There we go. Actually, let's. You know, that's all right. Wasn't dangerous. Shabo, we're already on lap 2 stuff. Oh. We're already on lap 2 stuff, and there were no real big issues on lap 1, so that's great. Yeah, it's not looking good for Cam in the back there. So what's going on here? Robert's on the inside, either trying to scare or not, so he's going to be a little slower. Who's this number 24? Justin is just going wide. Looks like he's about to spin or so, but Robert basically gives him space and has to adjust and gets hit in the back. So that would require him slowing down more to stay away from Justin, who could have been losing it coming back on track. So do no action for Sackett Yeah, unfortunately, you can't just drive through people. As much as it sucks to lift, when people are side by side, they're gonna be slower. So even if you're this far back, when you have a run on them, it's good just to lift a little bit early or give more space and try to pass after the exit, not through the apex area. Right, because we don't know what this car is going to do. So Robert just gives a little room to be safe and has to slow down a little more to tighten that. Tighten his turn to give some space to Justin for recovery. So let's see what the outcome is here. Basically brought him like 8 seconds back or so. Let's see. It's close between a 1 and a 4-pointer. See, so this would be passing overlap, apex to exit. Contact is made, resulting in loss of positions and or loss of control and or minor or major damage, which would be a 4-pointer. If there were no positions lost, would have been a 1x, and if you gave that position back, it would have been 0. Passing contact 4. My dog's begging to get out. Let me let her out real quick. All right, all right, I'm back. I couldn't see her suffer. Yeah, Cam, I mean, it wasn't intentional, but there were signs of it happening, and just kind of seeing those signs earlier is just part of the experience. We can go over it, you know, one-on-one if you want to go like step by step of those signs. Just let me know. We got Simon Belts. It's unfortunate to be caught up with that. Oops. Checking the brakes. Alright, brakes should be held. Fortunately, pushed so hard, but now he holds the brakes. So that was a bit late. That probably wouldn't have changed any of the outcome, but, you know, good idea is like, you don't think you can save it, just hold them brakes. Usually pressing the brakes is a great first step to saving it anyway, or lifting throttle. But all right. So loss of control. Must attempt to minimize impact by holding brakes or other means of crash avoidance. He did a good job keeping it off afterwards. After that first contact, but that may have been avoided just by slowing his car down, so we'll just give him a 1-pointer. That is where that lines up. Number 406. Yep, so that's the yeah, that's unfortunate for Matthew Frey. Just to get caught up in that. Sorry for the camera angle. That's annoying for, I mean, Allen. It was also kind of a lack of patience. So this is another where you could say like, oh, he couldn't do anything and all that from the avoidance, but we do see that there's stuff going on. We can expect that there's going to be people slowing down. And so earlier, I would just lift earlier, just in anticipation to be safe. However, he only really hurt himself, it looks like. So we're just going to do no action. Yeah, Matthew's just damaged trying to get back, so that's all good. I don't recall him coming on, but if you have a mic, you know, it's useful just to say you're pitting. Also, if someone were on me and I'm trying to pit, be aware of what side that pit lane's on. He should be going slower, just hugging the inside, and that way he doesn't have to cross the track last moment with cars that are clearly faster. But no penalty at all for that, just a tip. Whoops. So we got Julian and Preston. Oh, Preston. So yeah, first glance is Julian's just kind of staying a similar distance. I mean, he is coming in, but Preston was against the line, so and he was on a trajectory across the track for the most part. Touches the grass and can't stop. Hey, Julian. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not breaking late. I think he just, let's see. Yeah, this is what makes it hard, is because usually you judge by, you know, who's in line by where the white line is, who's actually like following the track, but this is where the track changes. Um, uh, I am gonna turn up my desktop audio so you can be heard better.
Yeah, My input volume's really low for some reason. I'm not sure why. Tried fixing it, but I noticed it as well in the broadcast.
I'm gonna turn you up then.
Is that
All right,
better?
looks better.
Okay, great.
Yeah, this is a really tough one, honestly. Yeah, mm,
You almost could say that Julian came on top of Preston.
yeah.
That's like the
So point
worst
of
part. Maybe
contact
could be the kink.
right here. Preston is still in line with the track. Um, and this is hard to judge because contact's being made. He'll lose some steering, so I can't say he was like going across at that point. Ooh, okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, looking at that a little closer, I would say that's probably on Julian. Right, across the track, sweeps in. And like, yes, there was a car width. Right, but if you know the track's turning, I would give the person just a little more room to be safe. There's no need to push it. And just so we verify, Preston is alongside. He is entitled to having space. So very unfortunate. Not at all what it looked like at first. This is why we... Could you look from my cockpit? I can't see the inputs, unfortunately, besides like the steering wheel. But I can look from your cockpit.
If you go back 2 seconds, you'll see the input to the left. That's kind of
Yeah, this second one.
right there.
This
That
one.
little input. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Right, so also if we use the car in front as a reference, this guy's by himself and he's where he feels okay. Right, and you're almost halfway overlapping. So it's just kind of asking for it a little bit. If it were just you that would be taken out, this would be nothing, but it really affected Preston's race as well. So we're just going to give you a standard actually see what position was he in. Yeah, there's at least like 5 or 6 cars there. It's going to be a 4-pointer for Julian. Once again, if you get a penalty or not, you just want tips on kind of racecraft, whether or not it's just like yeah, that's all good, Julian. Mistakes happen. I'm happy to help with just safety and all that, just decision making. Yeah, not quite a racing incident because we can pin it on somebody, I feel. So if you feel wronged, you can also submit a report and we'll put it to all the stewards instead of an on-the-spot decision. This is going to be a passing For where's my race control? There you are. So I accidentally already gave him. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on Preston, but it's gonna be for Julian. Passing contact must be number 358. Yeah, Julian, it's tough to make all the calls, as a majority may agree, but if you want, I can submit it as a review for the stewards. I could spend 20 minutes looking at that, deciding. So. Nice job being patient. Nice job.
Yeah, Chris has been. I think it's Chris. He's been doing a good job since race 1. Giving his pace.
Yeah, he's been very courteous and aware.
Yeah. Oof.
All right, so yeah,
I almost got
Claudio.
to give that to Claudio as good awareness, and I'll tell you why. He saw that when he spun, he couldn't get it corrected right, and then he quit to let the other guys go around him without making contact.
He did, but like he did a great job given the situation. We just have in rejoining the track. One point is rejoining the track in a manner that results in a car taking avoiding action. And so he put himself onto the racing line where 4 cars had to adjust their line. So he did a great job. Could have easily been like really bad. The other drivers did a great job as well. I have to give him just a single point there. But yeah, I do agree he did a good job making those choices to avoid any issues.
Claudio, a tip for next time is if you crank your traction control off on the vet and then just give it a throttle, it'll just do a about face immediately, so you'll be able to get turned around pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the chat. Yeah, please, like I said, if you have any issues, like Michael said as well, please just submit a incident report. There's a channel in there. I'll link it in the penalties section as well. So if you disagree, put it up for poll, and somebody other than the few of us will have a say. All right. Nothing here. Basically just towed. All right, nice job. All right, so we got Javi Sierra, Will Bailey. Alright, so we're going to look at, so we know he's not alongside by the braking point. Turn in is right there. He is just alongside. Ah, crap. So this is one of those where now, because he was alongside, it doesn't mean he's not in the wrong, because it would need to be if he's going to make that turn.
Can you back it up just a little bit? I just want to see where he breaks. So he should be lifting here. Oh, he broke early.
This is a tough one. It's really close because it looks.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. It looks like Will's giving him space. I think it would have been okay, but we're not really close enough to actually see.
The hard part is if Will anticipates him, and of course he'll see him coming. But if Will tries to open that up once he's already committed to turning in to try to get the apex.
All right, let's hop in Will's car. We'll see his exact point of turn in. All right, so it's a little early, but from what you'd expect. But even at this point, Javi's there. So, in my opinion, he's there at the point of turn-in. Whether or not it feels like a dive bomb. But I also feel like Will adjusted right there to give him space.
The hard part for me is if you look at Javi's in-car.
Well, in
again.
1 sec. Okay, Javi's in car.
I mean, he was 90 degrees. Okay.
Yeah. So the way the rules are defined is the off track is actually the white line when it comes to terms of penalties and expected space to be left. So I think Will just turned in a little early. Will, I know you feel like I'm always just hounding you, so I'm sorry. I'd be curious to what other... Yeah, see, but that doesn't look like Will from that view. I'm going to submit...
The in-car and the out-of-car look very different.
They do. And they both could have possibly made that corner. And so I really don't know who would be at fault for this.
Who got the worst of it? Just Will, right?
Huh?
Will was the one that went off track.
Yeah, Will got spun, lost several positions here. So I mean, yeah, I want to submit it for the stewards personally. So I'm leaning towards just like a racing incident, but I am not confident on this one. Michael?
That's a very tough call.
Okay.
I agree with you. I think it needs a further look by a broader audience.
Okay. We will make this noted, and we'll get back to you. I remember this. Yeah, we'll be looking at the rejoin here. So I can already especially because I was a part of it, I can say, right, he goes on to the racing line. Right, we all have to really adjust, and that's a hard corner to adjust on as well.
I agree with you. That's not a pro rejoin.
Yeah, so similar to Claudio, like good enough to stay out of the way, but drivers had to adjust their line. They all did a good job not losing control doing that, especially there. We'll just give them a single pointer of unsafe rejoin. Back to the normal camera. I see almost went. Stays out of the way. Right, so in case you're like, oh, you know, Bradley over here had to adjust his line, he's just being safe. He didn't truly have to, right? So that's where we differ on that kind of call. Is this Preston? Yeah. So Preston, I guess, had to go around him, but he was getting up to speed, and I think that's acceptable.
Oh, this guy. He's a menace.
So it spins. Body does get off the racing line while it's still avoidable and predictable.
Yeah, Brad.
So that's good. Nice rejoin that time.
That's a good one.
Nice job keeping it off the racing line there. Alright, almost rejoined, but realized there was a car there. Kind of just got himself back off. Alright, no action on that.
That's too bad, Quentin.
Yeah, it is. Kind of had a nightmare.
Yeah.
Alright, nicely done, John. Classic Barry.
I think Kenneth was just a little slow coming out of there on exit speed.
Yeah.
Caught him off guard.
Yeah, there was nothing intentional about that. Gonna say I assume nothing bad, but even so, if he got low damage, that would ultimately be on himself. And not the damage, the incident.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Keep accidentally clicking on that. Alright, good that time. Nice. Mr. David Stoops. Just gets a spin, keeps it corrected, and rejoins nicely. And I noticed this time you did not stop on the track, so that's great. Really good job.
Oh, that's tough.
That is. Almost saved it. Nice rejoin though, staying off the racing line. Alright. Nice job, Bobby. Another 2x for Quentin. And that's that for him. We all have our limits. Nice job. Good patience, but taking your opportunity when you could to rejoin, so well done. Oh boy.
Oh, this is brutal. Two going into one.
Ouch. Yeah. Oh.
It's tough.
Mitchell got caught up in that. Alright, so this is really like a one-lane road. If you can't fit 2 cars within the lines at the blue, Cody should have given that up.
Yeah, just a slight left
It's,
right there.
you know, it's like, well, what about, and it's like, well, just etiquette. So this kind of thing doesn't happen. You'd be losing about a quarter second. And it's better than taking the damage that Cody took from hitting that and also taking Mitchell out.
Yeah, and that's a drive-through front seat pit exit on Cody, just from the Irish.
Yeah, and yeah, he may have gotten a black flag from crossing that line before the blue cones. I don't have anything on the rules for pit, but that is kind of a passing incident.
I agree. It's a combo of rejoining and passing.
Yeah. So I think that'll be. Let's see.
To me, it's. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to see what was done to Mitchell, whether it's a 1 or a 4-pointer.
Yeah. He definitely gave Mitchell an off track.
Gave him an off track, yeah. He's in 30th here. Did not lose any positions. I don't think. Let's check the next lap. Oops, that's the next person. Okay, so he lost 2 maybe over the lap. Let's see.
I think those are the 2 he just lost. They're right there.
I was checking his steering.
Oh,
so a little damaged. So yeah, we're gonna have to give Cody a 4-pointer because it caused damage in a couple positions. It's unfortunate. But yeah, just out of etiquette, you know, if somebody's even just slightly ahead of you, that's their pit exit. And especially at a track like this, you know, you'll be right on them. So having draft and being just like right on them is not a big deal.
Pity, I unfortunately have to jump, but I just want to say you do a great job with these, and thank you.
Thanks. Well, thanks for joining. Appreciate your help. Good job, almost moved. Backs up instead, that's okay. Alright. Unfortunately, I'm sure that was caused by his damage to the front on that pit exit, but nice job rejoining. Nice job. Well done again, Chris. I have not looked at chat in a while. Let's see. Oh, Cameron. Yeah, I accidentally closed this, so I haven't looked in a while. It would be Will's corner if he did not have overlap by the time Will was turning in. But no matter who broke early or not, by the point of turn in, they were overlapped. Curtis, was that comment about what we just looked at? Or is this a different one? Got Micah. Nice job. That's acceptable for sure. That was Bonte coming out of the pits. Okay. Yeah, I can't say why not. It may have changed something, it may not have. And I also just don't notice the Porsche brake, so I forgot to look. I think ultimately it wouldn't change his penalty for that one. Nice job. I think we're getting through it. Oh, Curtis. Yeah, no, JT's just losing it. Not too much can be done there, really. Take just another look to be certain. In the cockpit here. So JT's pushing. They're both fighting to get that position. And right before contact here. So it does get on the brakes. Just one of those things, you know, a lot to focus on, but he came right across, and ultimately it's on JT, but the contact itself, a racing incident. So you might be asking what the difference is then for the one with Cameron, where I was like, he should be adjusting for what's going on and anticipating that stuff a little more. And then what happened here, and the difference is that JT had already lost the car. The other two in the first incident with Cameron they saved it, and they were just adjusting to give each other space. Easy spot to lose it. Nice job. Nice job. All right, Mr. Stoops. Did I miss that? Ah. Okay. There's no need to slow down, David. Even if you feel bad for a guy losing control from getting into you, that was not your fault. I would say I want to look at, see what I can get from your inputs, because yeah, so what would be better in this instance? I can see your RPM bar drops heavily. Just take this line, like throttle out. He's expecting you to throttle out, so that's why he ran into you. He may not know you in a way where you're like, he knows you like to get out of the way and just drive. So this is for every car that's lapping, letting people by, like, be as predictable as you can. He can't see if you're lifting the throttle, right? And mid-corner, it's hard to change your line. So based off your entry, it looked like you could be throttling out and going full speed, and that was what I'm assuming was his assumption. So unfortunate for Julian, but I don't think that was truly on David. This is the other David. A little spin. Rejoin. Solid. Alright, so yeah, didn't hold his brakes immediately, but he was just running along the same line. His car is predictable. Nice rejoin. It's kind of ridiculous for that to be a 4X. That was pretty much nothing. It's really unfortunate. There's a lot of luck in racing, and that was the opposite. Got Mr. Gearing and Claudio. You have to look at Claudio on this one. Being defensive opens it up a little bit, but straightens out. Just gets kind of ran into. Alright, so just gonna look at that one more time, but from the cockpit. I'm pretty sure I know what this is gonna be. That's the wrong person. Yeah, no, he was being assertive, and Claudio was being defensive, and unfortunately, that's just gonna fall on Mr. Gearing. And that's gonna be some damage with the passing, so that's gonna be a 4-pointer. By the way, the goal by the end of the 12 weeks is that last race, or the one before, we have no penalties. That would be great. Be really great. Can have incidents. Brace hard. Alright, no action there. Nice rejoin. Nice, dude. Great catch. So far, Micah's incidents have been drifting and catching it, and then a 360. So, go hop in a drifting game. That seemed like kind of a hard hit. It's alright, towing. That's okay if that's what you want to do. Yeah, that's a bit tough. So he's probably got some solid damage. Is that Micah? Nice job waiting. Oh, that's frustrating for Claudio. Yeah. Alright, well. Yeah, Micah, we'll get to it. So this is the last turn. Maybe going a little bit slower, but he's also on the brakes a little bit later. Personally, I hit the brakes like right at this spot, and neither of them are on the brakes here. I think Cam just got a little tunnel vision and ended up tapping him. Thankfully, no real issue. Alright, nothing there from Hayden. I guess this is probably what you're talking about, Micah. Oof, almost saved it too. Oh, is that what Hayden got a black flag for? I think that'd be the off track, perhaps, that gave it to him. Unless 2x contacts count towards some of that. I'm not sure. Either way, neither of them did anything wrong except for that. Right? That's what you were talking about. Great catch from John. Curtis just gives him the spot back. That's not necessary, but it was very kind. All right, so yeah, Micah, let's gonna definitely have to give you something for that. Take a look at the sheet. Rejoining the track. Drivers rejoining the track in a manner that results in a car avoiding action and incurring a 1x or greater. I'd say that's that for sure. So that's going to be a 4-pointer for unsafe rejoin. I would not consider it reckless to the point that it's a major penalty. So unsafe rejoin standard. But at least you knew you made a mistake and oh, that was for the lead for AM. Nice. Yeah, that's really good to see. Nice job, guys. Hey, man, I totally get that, Curtis. That was... I don't necessarily wouldn't want to win that way. But either way, man, respect. It's a nice thing to do. So love to see it. Oh, and then comes back over. Yeah. And so Gearing got a drive-through for that as well. It's just part of the same incident, but that's unfortunate. I guess just... Yeah. Definitely, John. Oh, I keep thinking this is over, and it's not. But yeah, Micah, you see how like that one mistake led to 3 drivers being affected, so just a little more attention to the relatives and before you hop back on. It's usually good as well, even if you're on the racing line, if you're going to rejoin, stay on that side of the track unless you're absolutely certain it's cleared across. He said he's done. Oh, this must be after the race is over. I'm hoping. Yeah, there's the 9x comment. All right. You know, I didn't see that. Let's see. Where was that? I'm just going to click on... Gardner, somewhere in here. Oh, there's Probert. Okay, looks like it was probably a 0x, so it didn't come up. Okay. me see if that was a 0x or not. So that was at about 40 minutes. I'm trying to see what it actually generated here. Oh, that's practice. Oh, jeez. Okay. This one. Okay. I'm not seeing any 0x for it. So this is hard because it isn't like I can kind of see that little bit of spark, but you guys didn't actually touch. Right, so that's a solid amount of space as far as like expecting contact or not. Yeah, he did squeeze you for sure. Yeah. Yeah. He lost P1 to Curtis because he got pushed off. Yeah, you know, this is tough. Like, this is really close racing. I know Tim just probably didn't want to have to make that spot back. You did avoid a big one by not hitting him. Ultimately, like, you know, he's more comfortable getting close to a car than you are, I'm sure, because he's, you know, he races really hard. But this is acceptable. It's really tight, right? And the fact that the contact was netcode, I'm not inclined to say anybody's in the wrong. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things. It's weigh your risks. You see him there. It's up to you to go for it or not, right? You know, he's probably just going to pass you on the straight after a turn or two. So it's just risk analysis, really. You did a great job avoiding and recovering. Out of the pits, yeah, but doesn't... That's the thing, is like, he's not in the pits, right? So just because he went through the pits doesn't mean he needs to be more handicapped by not racing. All right, so if you wanted him to stay further to the side, like John, at this point, you see him coming out of the pits, you can move. Yeah. You can say you had no room, but he's currently in front of you. And he's on the inside, so you could move over, right? He knows you're here. You can move over so you're right next to him if you wanted to. But this is your risk analysis. He's been out of the pits now for, you know, that far. That's quite a ways. So, right, so he's like, I have the space, I'm going to take it. try to open up the corner. And really, it looks like you're going in pretty hot too. I would want to look at this. Right, so using Will's car, at these cones he was going 143, and you're just past him going 156. I think you also just went in a bit hot. Just trying to... It's okay, John. Like, I understand that low correction or the net code may have made you go off, but I don't feel like he was at fault for that. It was you know, kind of assertive or aggressive, depending on how you want to look at it. Preston, I hope you're not talking about Tim. You guys are confusing somebody being in the pits to being on the racing track. So just because he's not up to speed from coming out of the pits does not mean you're entitled to his position. He's allowed to defend and try to keep you behind him as much as he wants. Yeah, I'm sure he's aware of that. I see you guys are a bit upset about this one, but I have to say, like, trying to be as unbiased as possible. I don't... Ah. All right, Preston. Trying to be as unbiased as possible, I don't think he did anything wrong. What he did may be different from what you expect and what you're used to, and that's normal because you're not usually racing against somebody like this. You know, Tim is a more assertive driver, and that's something to know, right? He has his issues in races, but that's because he gets close and he makes those attempts that kind of push the limit. Right, like if this was a solid contact, I'd be like, he's coming over into you. But because it was some net code, yeah, I do want to see what your speed is like a couple laps before at those cones. All right, so where we had it about here. So you're already going 8 miles per hour slower here than that other lap. So just food for thought, you know, risk analysis, you were also overshooting a little bit. So it just kind of lined up to be a poor incident right there. But that will wrap us up. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah, John, sometimes we gotta make the move to avoid it. It's just how it is. None of it's intentional. But yeah, thanks for joining. We will be at Virginia next week, or actually we have a week off, and then we have our VIR. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next week.